Hello students, welcome to our today's session. So these sessions are basically to revise your practicals. Since a few of you had few queries or few doubts, I thought of revising only the practical part of the subject. So in today's session, we'll see all the practical problems which might come under your second module. First module is completely theory based. So I'm concentrating on second module, basically practical problems. So one first type is that they might ask you risk and return. As we all know, risk is nothing but standard deviation of the returns earned over a period. For example, in this problem, what you're seeing on my screen, this total return, it is 19 for the first year, 14 for second year, 22 for third year, and so on. So there is some volatility in return, correct? The returns are not same. So when returns are not same, it becomes difficult for an investor to expect the returns, correct? First year they paid us 19 rupees, and second year if you expect the same 19 rupees and they might fail to give you 19 rupees, there will be some volatility. This volatility is nothing but the standard deviation or risk. Standard deviation is proven to be one of the best methods in which you can actually calculate the risk of a particular security, right? It might be security or portfolio. Now, there are various methods, but keep this in mind. When they ask you the expected return, it is nothing but arithmetic mean. Expected return, arithmetic mean. Expected risk, it is standard deviation. These things you would have learnt in your primary, or even you might have learnt in your primary schooling. So anyhow, let's just revise it to be on the same page. Return, what is the formula for return? Expected return, it is summation r divided by n. R is nothing but the returns earned over the period, and n is nothing but number of years. So 19 plus 14 plus 22 minus 12. What does minus 12 mean? Minus 12 means that there is a loss of 12 rupees in this particular year, and fifth year it is 5 rupees. So add all these things, divide by 5, you get 9.6%. This is the, I've converted this into percentage, but this is the actual return percentage. Okay, you can whenever somebody asks what is the expected return of your stock, you can say that it is about 9 to 10%, right? If they give you more, well and good. If they, I mean, there might be little variation, so that variation we call it as a risk. What is the see, when you are telling a person that your expected return is 10%, this 10, I mean, they might not give you 10 exactly, correct? There might be certain deviations from this 10. This deviation we can measure by using a device called standard deviation. How do we calculate standard deviation? I hope you guys are familiar with this formula. I know, I mean, I couldn't write it in a PPT. In PPT, I couldn't, I was unable to write the formula, but please take it down. It is nothing but square root of, put a square root for both numerator and denominator, square root of summation Ri, that is returns earned, minus R dash, that is nothing but the arithmetic mean what you would have calculated, whole to the power of n divided by n minus 1. This is your formula for standard deviation. You can either write it in variance or standard deviation. Variance is nothing but standard deviation square. If in a particular problem, if they ask you just the variance, you just remove the square root. So years I've taken, total return I know. So I had already calculated this 9.6. You might be worrying where we got 9.6 from. 9.6 we got from this arithmetic mean. 19 minus 9.6 gives you 9.4. I'm just calculating the deviation. 19 minus 9.6 is 9.4. 14 minus 9.6 is 4.4, and similarly for rest of the things. I've just taken the difference. Actual return minus expected return. Now square it. 9.4 square is 88.36. 4.4 square is 19.36. Similarly, 12.4 square, 21.6 square. See here, though it was negative, when you square it, it becomes positive. So you take this figure, this figure divided by n minus 1. N is nothing but number of years, that is 5 years we have got. So um, yeah, 5 minus 1 is 4. So if you put the square root, you will get 13.68%. This is the risk percentage. Risk is 13.68 percentage, return is 9.6 percentage. So this is how you calculate. This is a basic type of problem. They might ask you for 5 marks or something like that. So it is pretty simple. So I think yeah, that is about your expected return. Now we'll calculate something called as total return. Let me revise this. I have actually explained it in all my videos, but though I had explained it, I just want to give you a backdrop of what is meant by total return. See, when it comes to returns, there will be two component. First component is nothing but your uh, dividends or profits, what you will be earning every single year. Okay, that is one part. Second part is there might be price fluctuations. Today you would have bought a stock at 100 rupees, and after 5 years you would sell it at 120 rupees. So this 20 is also a capital. I don't say it as capital gain, but it is something like a add-on, or it is also a part of your profit. Correct? When you are measuring profit or return of a particular stock, you need to consider this part also. So to revise, it consists of two parts. One is the cash payment received during the period plus price change over the period. So price change, always you need to uh, the formula goes like this. It is ending price minus beginning price. It is not the other way around. How do you calculate selling I mean profit? Profit is nothing but selling price minus cost. Cost is nothing but the beginning period, selling price is nothing but the ending period, divided by price of the investment at the beginning. So you can get one percentage here. So this is, I couldn't type everything since there was a numerator, denominator in each and every cell. Even in Excel, I couldn't show this very well. So I just thought of taking a pic and pasting it. So this is how your relative return and total return looks like. First, let's calculate total return. Total return is nothing but, as I just now I told you the formula. It is nothing but the cash payments received plus the difference of price change divided by beginning price. So 3.4 is nothing but the dividend paid, that will be your cash payment received during the year, plus what is the price change? 34 minus 30, that is 4. Correct? 3.4 plus 4 divided by 30. 3.4 plus 4 divided by 30 gives you 0.247 or 24.7 percentage. Right? Similarly for stock B, stock C. So if you have any doubts here, please call me or please get in touch with me. I'll explain once again, no problem. What is relative return? Relative return is nothing but it's like calculating a geometric mean, or uh, relative return is, you just have to add 1 to the total return. The formula goes like this. Relative return is nothing but you need to add 1 to uh, the total return. So you just you I mean if you want to know the meaning and all, I've explained it in my theory, all the other videos which pertain to your second module. Please go through that. So relative return, the formula is very simple: 1 plus total return. Total return you have already calculated, that is 0.247. You just have to add 1. So I'll give you 10 seconds to go through this slide. Right. So I think these are very simple problems they might ask you. So this is one problem which you guys need to pay a lot of attention, because these type of problems are the actual ones which have come in your previous year question papers. Previous year exams, they had asked you this type of problems. So this is for your practice. You have to practice. First and second is very simple, so I'm not solving that. Third problem I'm solving. So they have given you the state of economy. So what is boom? Boom is nothing but when your economy is doing very well. Normal is okay. Normal is nothing but, I hope you understand, it is a normally expected state of economy. What is recession? Recession is things are not going very well, and there'll be a lot of chaos in your economy, right? I hope you guys understand that I'm not touching much upon the state of economy. Probability of occurrence. What is the probability of occurrence of boom? Suppose today I'm purchasing a portfolio. Next year, will it be a boom or will it be normal or will it be recession? Based on my previous experiences, I've taken these probabilities. Okay, that's how you arrive at probability. When it is boom, the rate of return will be very high because stocks will be doing very well. When it comes to normal, it is okay, okay. When it comes to recession, it will be negative because your stocks are not doing so well, and you will be facing losses. So this is how you are you calculate your returns. Okay. To take down this entire table, what I have put it here, I have exactly taken it. And how do you calculate expected return? If I mean, what though they have not asked to calculate standard deviation, first you need to start from mean. Mean is nothing but probability into rate of return, which gives you this column. Probability into returns expected. Sorry, actual returns. So 0.4 into 0.25, similarly 0.3 into 0.12, and I have got it for this one also. When you add all these three, you arrive at 11.8%. That is the expected return out of your portfolio or the stock. I hope there are no complications here. Here you guys need to concentrate a little bit. Till here, that's fine. You know, it's very simple. You just have to multiply the probability with returns. Uh, Next step is that you start deducting your expected return from your actual returns, right? This is your actual return, 0.25 minus 0.1180, which gives you 0.1320. This is nothing but 0.25, 0.12 minus 0.06. So I've subtracted it. This is the difference. Ri minus, this is your expected return. 11 point, sorry, 11.80 is your expected return. So you square this column. You take the squares of this column. Now you need to multiply this column with your probability, right? This is nothing but your whatever this column, the squares you had taken of squares of the deviation multiplied by the probability. 0.0174 into 0.4 gives you 0.0070. Similarly, for all the three, this is the sum, and this is your expected risk, right? Yes, this is the sum. So what do you do with the sum? You just have to divide it by n minus. I mean, it is a similar formula which you had seen it here. This formula, same thing. You just have to take a square root divided by n minus 1. 0.0165 divided by 2 whole to a power of whole to a power of 1 by 2, or you can take the square root. So this is your risk. I'll give you 10 seconds to go through the slide. Okay. Uh, for your benefit, I'll just write down the formula once again. I'm unable to find the square root. Okay, no worries. I'll just write it as square root of pi, that is your pi, that is your probability, into r ri minus expected return whole to the power of 2. I mean, you just have to take the square root of this 0.0165. So this is your formula. Right, let's move on. So I think that would be the problems, I mean the level of difficulty what they might ask in your exams. So let's quickly move on to calculating beta. This you guys need to calculate, I mean concentrate here, because though we might discuss this in our fourth module, please pay attention here. This is something technical. First of all, what is a beta? Beta is nothing but volatility of the price movement of a stock when compared to the market. What do you mean by beta is 1? Beta is 1, which means if beta is 1, what does it mean? It means that the stock and the market are positively correlated. If the market moves 10 points, your stock will also move 10 points. That's how beta is calculated. Beta can also be stated in percentage, or it might be like this. If beta is 1.2, it means that there's 20% volatility. If beta is 1, it means that it is exactly correlated. I hope you guys are understanding this. So, yeah, I have taken periods. See, in your question, they'll give you only this information, not even sum and mean. They'll give you period, return of stock A, return of market. Only these three columns will be given. So, how do we calculate beta? Beta formula is this. Uh, Beta formula, I think I had already given you. This is the formula of beta. Note down this formula. Right. So how do we calculate? First is that you take the sum and mean of the individual stock. Sum is nothing but 150, you just add it. Mean is nothing but you 150 divided by 15 gives you 10. Correct? That is your expected return of stock A. Market. For market also you take the sum and mean. 135 divided by 15 gives you 9. So 9% is the expected return of the market, and 10% is the expected return of your stock A. Next is that calculate the deviation. RA minus expected return of stock A. 22 minus 9, right? 13 minus 9, 17 minus, sorry, 22 minus 10, 13 minus 10, 17 minus 10, 15 minus 10, and so on. Similarly for market, it is 12 minus 9, 14 minus 9, 13 minus 9, and so on. This column, right? Next is that you multiply both these columns, you'll get this, right? Last column is you have to take the squares of this column, market column. Market deviation column, you just take the square. So what is your formula? Formula states first covariance between the returns on security I and market. In our case, it is security A. The covariance divided by standard deviation. Correct? Let's calculate the covariance first. Covariance formula is this. Covariance is 20 divided by 14. Where did we get 20 from? 20 is nothing but this column, this addition divided by n minus 1. This addition, this column divided by n minus 1. That is the formula for calculating your covariance, right? Next, a standard deviation, this is the formula. So that comes up to 41.07. So beta will be nothing but covariance divided by standard deviation, which gives you 0.03. So this is how you calculate your beta. So though we might please take down this problem, pause the video, take down this problem, write down the covariance formula. Since it was pretty lengthy, I couldn't type it in your PPT. So please take a note of your for covariance form. Covariance formula and standard deviation formula. Calculate this part. You just take down these three columns, try to solve this. If there are any doubts, please get in touch with me. Right? Yes.